Hi, everyone. It's Diane Evans with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So if this is one of your first times joining me, welcome. I'm so glad that you have found me, whether you found me off of Facebook or you found me off my YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you have found me. If it is through YouTube, make sure that you do subscribe, hit that bell below, and you'll get notified immediately as soon as I upload a new video. And if you're a part of my Facebook group or my Facebook page, you'll also get notified as well. So it's the weekend, and I always do a card sketch on the weekend. So I like this card sketch. This is going to be a tiny bit of a twist with it. Because there's a trend, or maybe I'm behind the trend, but there's a trend out there, and I wanted to kind of put a card sketch around that trend. So let's just go on straight on down. Good morning. So this is the card sketch. Pretty simple card sketch. One thing that there is a little bit different that you'll notice, this piece is 4 inches wide, and so is this piece behind, but the piece behind is 5 1/4. So it gives you a tiny bit of a different look to it, but you'll see why I've done it that way, especially. So today what I want to do is I think this trend started about 2 or 3 months ago, and I just wasn't on the bandwagon. I saw it and I thought, geez, I should try that, and I should try putting that into a card sketch. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. This is called, it's a tear effect thing. So what this part is right here is this part is actually torn. So it's interesting. And I'm using Boughs of Holly. This Boughs of Holly is one of the suites that we're using for our stamp camp, our international stamp camp. And it's a beautiful suite. I haven't played with it that much, but I think after you start seeing it a bit in action, you're going to love it. All right, so let's get going on that. So like I say, it's a little bit different on the measurements on there. So I'm using the Boughs of Holly, and maybe what I should do is show you what the Boughs of Holly actually looks like. If you purchase the suite, you get 13 make and takes, and then you'll also be put into a private Facebook group, and you also get 13 additional ones. So yeah, it's a tearing part. And Nancy, it's really quite simple. But this Boughs of Holly, like I say, it's a beautiful suite. You get the bundle, you get some ribbon, you get these textured bits, and the designer series paper. It really, really is pretty. And I'm going to show you one other item that if you go with this suite, you need to have the distressed gold paper. It just goes hand in hand with it. So, all right. So, like I say, this is the part that's going to be torn. It's kind of a loose measurement there. So I have, oh shoot, I forgot to bring the white. That's okay for the inside. I have a piece of, this is the Evening Evergreen. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Let's just fold that into the mountain. Yes, there is a host code for the suite. Yes. I am just going to say something, but not say something. As much as I say, do it now, maybe wait till August the 2nd, because you might want to wait till then, because you could also get some celebration. I'm just saying. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying. How's that? All right. So I have a piece. I cut this designer series paper. This one's so pretty. I like the back of it too. It's really so pretty. But this is the one that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we're going to put that on. I want to put that on first. Yes, we'll go ahead and put that on first. I always get so mad at myself when I go and I put that layer onto the cardstock and then realize that I wanted to do something else with it. So I want to make sure this is directional designer series paper. So you want to make sure that it goes up. The colors are amazing in here. This has the soft succulent, the evening evergreen, poppy parade, cherry cobblers in there as well. Actually, I think real red is a color that's mentioned on the pack there too. What? Anyways, So you can see, and then I have a piece of, get a load of this. I have not used this. This paper, well, I've started using it more because I've perched in a tree, but this is Sahara sand. And this Sahara sand goes great with this designer series paper here. Now, I also ran this one through with my type worn embossing folder. I thought it added a bit of character to it. And I think you really need to do something like that to this piece. So all you're simply going to do, now most of the ones that you see out there are torn from left to right. I want mine to go the opposite way. So I'm just going to eyeball it. And all I'm doing is just tearing this down. And I'm going to tear this one down here as well. Tough. Now, I was hoping that this was going to soften this this cardstock up a little bit because it's quite coarse to do this one part. Now, what you want to do is you want to grab some sort of a dowel. What you want to do is you want to have something that you can roll this, because with this torn like this is how it's going to come. It's going to come like this. And you can see I've got it, the designer series paper coming out a little bit on each end. And the reason I wanted to do that was I needed some, it just didn't look right when it was like a 1/4 of an inch difference. All right, so all I'm going to do, now I could take this and it might even, you know what, that's what I'm going to do, is I am going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to kind of curl it. It's going to kind of give a bit of a start. Yeah. And if anyone says, oh, Diane told me about something about celebration, I'll deny it. It was put up and then it was taken down, and really any demonstrator could have seen it. I just happened to see it and then it was taken down. So we'll find out, I guess, on Monday or Tuesday. So all you're doing is just rolling this up. Now I might want to make it go a little bit further, you know, and I could just tear it a little bit more there. All right, so that's going to go just like this. So let's go ahead first of all, and let's go and let's glue this onto. And like I say, I'm getting it even up at the top and at the bottom, and then just having it come in a little bit on the edges. And then you can turn around and then you can then turn around and you could, when you're rolling this, you could put glue on there. So let's just put a bit of glue here. Now, this is going to be one of those cards that it's really not going to go in the mail unless you flatten this part down. And, you know, honestly, it really wouldn't look too bad flattened down as well. So I'm just going to actually layer some glue along here. You can take it in a little bit further if you want. But I think with what else I'm going to do on this card, I think that's going to be far enough. So you see here, I've got like the sentiment is going to go up here. And these are like images. The beautiful images and the die cuts from this suite. Like just leaves. These are amazing. But I want to show you another piece in there that by experimenting a little bit, I went, wow, that'll work. There's 2 pieces in here. I wanted to cut this part out. So I'll show you what I did. Was I went and I took, and it's this distress gold paper. Trust me, you're going to want this paper. It looks so great. It really, really looks great. So what I did was I went and I took this die And I went and I cut out the distressed gold. So I just cut out this part here. And then there's this piece that's right here. This one right here. And I cut that out with the evening evergreen. And then I layered it on here for now. And then I just took this and cut out around here. And that's going to give me another look. Okay. So we have that. So let me just move that again. I don't want that to be in the way. All right. So I went ahead and I did a bunch of die cuts. I did the distressed gold in the smaller leaf. So we're just going to go ahead and put that on there. Now, I could have used the adhesive sheets, and I probably should have. This is actually quite thin, this distressed gold, and it's not on both sides of the paper. But honestly, I don't mind gluing. I'm just going to let it set a bit. I noticed I did real red there with the berries, and I also did the distressed gold on the top part of the berries. And we'll let that set for a bit. And then I'm also going to layer this part on here as well. So that's just showing you that you can get some different leaves. And I think that's kind of neat. Yeah, if you're having unstable internet, I found since I put my booster in, I get notifications if my thing's unstable, but haven't had any notifications. So I'm just going to layer this one onto here. I should probably let that sit a bit. All right. Then we've got to decide, am I going to, I cut these out too. Some of those out. I might need those. We're going to really fancy up this card. Oops. All right. So let's go ahead and put this on. I love these berries, how they look with that gold on there. Now, this is something else that you could turn around and you could actually stamp it and emboss with gold embossing powder. I'm just going to put this one on here. Whoops. But see how pretty that distressed gold is. Oh my goodness, it's just amazing. And then I'm going to put this one on here. So yeah, this set is the set for our stamp camp that's going to be the end of October. In some markets, it's going on back order. So I always say get it while you can. All right, so I'm going to put this on here like so. We'll try this like this. Oops. Now my sentiment, oh my goodness, I had two of them too. There we go. I cut this from the dies as well. And I thought I could do Season's Wishes on there. I could even put it over to the side here. I know I put it there, but we'll see. Maybe I'll stamp that now while I'm waiting. Christmas Wishes or Season's Greetings? I think I'll do Christmas Wishes. I always say if people are doing Christmas cards, mind you, do you give Christmas cards to people that don't want to say Merry Christmas? I don't know. So we're going to come in with our Versamark. This is a really nice, clean one. I treated myself to a new Versamark. I hadn't had a new one in years, so. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes. If you can, I'd really appreciate it if you share. That's a little bit crooked. I'm going to come in with my tweezers from my embossing kit. Oh dear. That is really crooked. Are we going to have to stamp that one again? And we'll just heat set this. I like the tips of these tweezers because it's a Teflon tip. Yeah, it's kind of crooked. I might be wanting to redo that. All right. So I think what I need to do first is I want to get that up there and this, but I think what I want to do is I want to glue that onto there. Yes. So let me just go and glue that because I want to put some, I'm thinking I want to put some of that twine behind here. There we go. And then this can go on there. So what I want to do is I'm just going to come in with my Stampin' Seal. I'm just putting that onto the back. And then I'm going to come in with my twine. And I want to loop it. How sad is that? It's not tight enough. There's no real rhyme or reason to what I've just done here. Let's try it again. I think I'll loop it this way instead. And it's going to go whichever way it wants to go anyways. When it gets on the roll, it's kind of annoying how thick of a coil it is. But how you can kind of straighten that out if it's on a roll and that, I went and I huffed into my hand and then I ran this through here, and I guess the tiny bit of moisture on it kind of straightened it a little bit. So that's a little bit of a tip for you. All right. Now, I don't want this sitting flat on here. So another use for our embossing buddy is I want to go in and now take the stick off of here. And then now what I can do is just put my, well, I probably should be using black because that's dark. All right, so let's go. We're just going to put some dimensionals on the back here. So you can see this is kind of like what our sketch is going like. Don't forget to enter into the sketches on my Facebook group. And by doing that, if you live in Canada, you could be eligible for a stamp set. And if you live outside of Canada, because I can't ship anything product outside of Canada, I have some amazing tutorials that I can give you. All right, so this is just going to go up here. Like so. And then we're going to put these berries on here. I'm just going to put those straight onto there. And then what we can do is I can come with these sprigs and put them on there as well. I say this one's a real variation of this card sketch, but I like it. It's kind of a fun sketch to do. And like I say, it just has that piece that goes like that. There. Now I'm thinking maybe this will go more off to the side there. And I think we should put some of these sprigs on there. Whoops, that's on backwards. Thank you. There we go. Oh, maybe one that was going down. Oh. Got that upside down. There we go. No. Whoops, it's crooked. All right. So then what we want to do now, what I could do that would really kind of add something is if I had turned around and put a tiny bit of gold on here. You know what? I'm going to give it a try. Now, this is going to be quite messy doing it this way, but it'll work. So I'm just coming in with my gold embossing powder. And I'm going to come in with a spare piece of cardstock. And so, and now we can take in this little brush. I'm going to just heat set that. I think that'll just add a little bit. I see that I've got some gold up here. We don't want gold anywhere else. Well, thank you. So this will just sort of like doing things on the fly, right? Now, the other part that goes along with this is you have these textured bits here, and that would actually go on here as well. I could have put something like that on there, and that would have been okay. I would have actually embossed these, but I think I'll leave those ones off. And now what I think I need to do is I need to put some embellishments on there. Now, my original thought was to use these. These are the holiday sequins. Now see how they look. Because other than that, maybe the brushed ones might look okay. Let's take a look. Let me just put one of those on and we'll see what it looks like. It'll work. I'm going to make it work. I have so many of these. I accidentally got these instead of something else. So we'll put that right about there. So there's my card. A little bit different. But like I say, I had to get on the bandwagon and do this tear effect card. And just to show you how simple it really, really is. So all I did was I just tore down here. Okay, let's go over what I've used. I used the Time Worn embossing folder on here. This is Sahara Sand, and I've used Evening Evergreen. And of course, I used the Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper behind here. Then I cut out the dies. Where are my dies? I cut out the dies, and I did that special die, the one on the corner of this. I really like how that worked out. I really like that particular leaf. And I use the distressed gold. I use gold embossing powder, and then I also use these holidays adhesive back sequins on there, and I think that worked out quite well. So let me show you that a little bit closer. And I use some linen twine on there as well. Kind of like how that turned out. But that's our card sketch for today. So don't forget, if you like this, the best form of the best compliment that you could give me is to share my video. If you also make sure that you enter into my sketch challenge. I will be doing a draw probably on Monday or Tuesday. So if you want to go back on any of the sketches, I enter your name in for every sketch or every challenge that you enter. Excuse me. I enter you in once for every sketch. Another thing that I do is, like I say, if you're out of country, I can give you a, thank you. I can give you a tutorial. If you prefer a tutorial to my, stamp set, that's fine too. Yeah, I kind of like how that turned out. And I really like this Sahara sand. I think that really, really does kind of add to it. All right, so what's up? Monday. Be back at 11 o'clock Pacific time in the morning doing something. Not sure what it is. And then, of course, Tuesday is one of my favorite times is the Technique Tuesday. I have a few, I've already written up, I think, about 10 different sheets. So it's just a matter of how I feel that day of what technique I'm going to do. And then, of course, mystery on Wednesday. I am going out of town for a bit on Thursday, but I will be doing my sketch challenge and my techniques. They'll look like they're going live, but they're actually, they're pre-recorded. But I'll be there making comments on them as we go. So, oh, you've never heard of this technique? I don't know. I saw it. I think it goes back to about May that when I first started seeing it. And, you know, like I say, most of them come from the left to the right. Mine, like I say, is going from the right to the left. I just thought it was a little bit different. That's how I wanted my eye to go there. So in any event, you guys have a great weekend. For those that are in BC, it's a holiday on Monday, but I'll still be here. Anyways, take care. Have a great day. Bye for now.